Yet a time is coming and has now come when the true worshipers will worship the Father in the Spirit and in truth, for they are the kind of worshiper the Father seeks. Luke 10:27 says, He answered, Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength, and with all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. Before you can love your neighbor as yourself, you have to do the first. Love the Lord your God. And know the Lord your God. Know Him for who He really is, for the person, for the God that He really is. Great and mighty, and understand the fear of God, that the vast majority of the church has lost their fear of God. They're so distracted they don't even hear from God anymore. It's probably rare that an evangelist, maybe somebody will come in there and preach some kind of word from God because they're fasting, because they're praying. But even then, there are so many people distracted, leaders of organizations that are so distracted by their life. They've not understood what it means to this great love that the scripture talks about. It says, what greater love is there that a man would give his life for his brother? Isn't that amazing? Think about that for a minute. Giving your life because you love your brother that much. But no, it's not happening. It's not happening. I ain't nobody. I ain't trying to be anybody. I do the things that I do. I post the things that I do because God tells me to do it. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. It's the truth. It's hard to believe. Perhaps it is hard to believe for you. Perhaps it is. Why? Because you don't hear from God. I'm not trying to put anybody down or whatever. I'm trying to help. That's it. It's only because God tells me to do it. Because if He didn't, then I wouldn't do this. It's not fun to get mocked or get laughed at. For people to look at you the wrong way when you're just trying to give them words from God, a warning or whatever. What do you think? That God doesn't have people warning today? You think that was just for the past? I want to encourage some people today to, if I can, to seek God, to seek the face of God, to know what it is, what it means to deny this world, this life, our own pleasures. Why? To know Him more, so that we could know Him. So there's no distractions that can keep me from hearing God. Do you realize you can walk with God? Do you realize you can hear from God? That God is willing and able to give visions and dreams and revelations and to speak to you directly in your mind, through your mind, even with audible voice. This is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The God. The Jesus. Jesus. The man, Jesus. To love God, I just heard this man speaking some crazy nonsense about where it's not necessary for us to love Jesus, to maintain our love for Jesus, but that Jesus said that we should maintain ourselves in His love for us. Isn't that the man's heart? That's the man's heart. Wanting and willing to receive, but not willing to give. I have been called to, to speak the things that I've spoken throughout the past, 5 years, maybe less, speaking to churches, trying to bring warnings, I guess, to churches, whether it be through Facebook, whether it be directly to pastors and leaders, and have been brushed off or Sometimes I don't get a response to whatever from people as I would warn them, because God tells me to warn them. It's not like I'm trying to, but most of the time, they just call me names or whatever. Call me names. But it hurts because people don't really want to know God. They don't really care to listen to the voice of God, and I guess it's expected. It was prophesied that this day would come, whatever. I just come here to encourage people to seek the face of God for yourself, because it would seem to me that your leadership, that your pastors, where you're going to church or whatever, they're not hearing from God anymore. So we got to seek God for ourselves. I'm not saying don't go to church. I'm not telling you that. But begin to seek God for yourself. Seek the face of God. Turn away the things of life to be able to know Him better. I'm not saying go sell everything you have and give it to the poor. What I'm saying is disconnect everything from your heart. Don't allow your house or your whatever car or truck to be connected to your heart. Disconnect it. If you have it, you have it. If you don't, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I had a dream not long ago, and it consisted of a valley, a great valley, a beautiful valley, and it was green and nice trees and colors and everything. And in the middle of this valley was a building. It was a 4 posts and the rooftop. It didn't really have the walls. I could see right through it. And it was just so nice, kind of like springtime or whatever. And there was like an altar in there. And on the altar was a bride, a woman dressed in white. She was ready. This woman was ready, like to get married or something. And I was like, wow. And at the same time, I was in a building across the way, and there was another woman that was there with me, and there was some other people there, and we were trying to help her get ready as well, because behind her was another dress on this type of mannequin or whatever, and it was just all, she was supposed to get ready and get dressed and be ready as well. And I looked at her, and when I did, I looked across the way, and I said, look over there. I said, you see that woman? I said, she reminds me of you. And when I said that, she was downcast. She put her face down, and she got real sad. And it was like, at the same time, she was mad. She was offended at what I just told her. She was offended, and she wanted to leave. She no longer wanted to get ready. She was sad. And at that time, God comes from behind me and takes her in His arms, takes her to the door, and lets her go. It wasn't that God was trying to be mean to her or anything. He simply gave her what she wanted. He simply gave her what she wanted. I've been bringing warnings to people for years or whatever, and I can keep doing that, whatever. I just don't think people are listening anymore. I'm here because I feel led to do this. I've been feeling like this for a long time, but I haven't done it. But I encourage you to seek God, and I'm not looking for a following. I'm not looking for nobody to like nothing. I'm beyond that. I don't care. I care about you, for people, and I want you to know God the way I have been able to know God. The love that God has for you, you cannot even fathom. I can't. I can't. The presence of God, I felt the presence of God come over me sometimes that I got to push it away and say, God, no. It was an experience I had years ago before the Lord started using me. And it was a fear that came over me. It was a great fear that came over me. I didn't understand. I knew it was God. Why are you doing this, God? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? I thought I was going to die or whatever. And then that feeling went away, and I heard God speak to me, and He said, this is the way I want my church to fear me. I want them to respect me. One day soon, maybe I'll tell you about His love. God bless you.